last week, it was there was all kinds of activity here with yellow vests planting trees all over the berm and stuff back there. Now the crane is actually completely gone. The crane is gone, and I guess they're done with the trees. What did you see over there? Anything?
It's still dirt. They've not paved that one.
Okay.
One yet.
Now I wonder if
the guy with a little digger moving dirt around.
Yeah. The other entrance down there is paved and ready to go. They even put the lights up.
Yep.
Do you think they might open it?
Well, I mean, I think when the train opens, yeah, they'll push these walls back to the actual tunnels because you'll be able to see behind the wall anyways from the train.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's true, huh?
So as soon as they're both ready by the train in a month, then you might as well.
So this is the entrance, the Frontierland entrance. You can see the bridge there. They are actively working on it as we speak. They haven't paved it; it's still dirt. And that's the tunnel into Star Wars Land, man. That's gonna be amazing. Remember when we saw them building that tunnel, you guys? Okay, so here's what to our best estimation, what we're looking at here is the Fantasmic Storage building.
The entrance just barely to the left behind.
The entrance, well, yeah, the areas underneath the bridge, that's like the way in, I suppose. That's the actual storage. The entrance to the Fantasmic Storage is just out of frame to the left, where there's going to be a waterfall, right? Yeah. Wherever the waterfall is, to the left of that, which we can't see and won't be able to see today until we get on. We won't be able to see it until we get on the Mark Twain.
Yeah.
Because you can't see it from the end of the island. But that is the Fantasmic Storage building. That's what all these guys are working on right now. That's that whole. It was like kind of a rectangular and then sort of oblong, directed structure that we saw them building, and it disappeared behind the berm and the trees a long time ago. But that used to be one of the highlights of our filming.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll put some video of what it looked like before. You made a what?
A pun about it.
You made a pun?
The movie tie-in, Fantasmic Floats and Where to Store Them.
Oh, Fantasmic Floats and Where to Store Them. That's right. You did that right over there.
I thought I made the joke while we were at the top of the structure.
No, it was on the trail. It was on Big Thunder Trail.
I'm pretty sure the first time I made the joke was on the structure.
Oh, you might have made it twice, but I remember it on the trail for sure. But anyway, that's Fantasmic Storage right there. And then even for those of you who watch Star Wars Land updates, that is the turret. Or at least that's what we're being told. That's the turret.
The weird shape that we couldn't quite figure out where it was or what it was. It was just a weird mesh of steelwork.
Right. It had obviously been raised up above everything else.
But it was just a strange mess of steelwork.
Yeah, different directions, and it looked like a mess.
And we couldn't figure out how to place it in our heads. But
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
So that's the turret. It's so wild, Ian, that we could see that from the structure.
And
like
now it's
being born, basically.
Yeah, and now it's near complete.
These guys are working very, very hard at getting it ready for next month, the grand opening of the Mark Twain and the Columbia.
Oh yeah.
They are in there doing all the because it's still obviously not painted. The paint isn't finished.
But you can see how the rock is already transitioning from at this end more to the thunder.
Right, you're right. Yes.
As opposed to the more grayish rock on the other side.
Yeah. And then, we were also talking. Such a bummer, man. Somebody made a joke that it's almost like it's historically accurate
that the village is getting pushed into a smaller space.
I feel bad. I feel bad that it's down there like that because it used to have its own little shoreline.
But because it's kind of in the corner, and we may still get that fun little kind of optical trick where you can't quite tell how many until you pass.
Right, it looks like 4 and then it turns out to be 11.
How many are there? And it ends up being like 8 or 9. You're like, oh, wait, no, 4, no 6, no 8, and then we just changing the number.
Yep. So that's the you know what? I'm going to slide down here a little bit. See if we can't get any better look at said teepees. Now, okay, Ian.
Yes.
The train is going to go behind the turret?
Yes, behind the turret.
And that's where those guys are walking right up there. That's train track then.
Up above.
Yeah. So the train is going to pass to the left of the turret and to the left of the Native American village.
Yes. Yeah, we were just talking about that. And how ironically they can put into a smaller space.
Yeah. Isn't that ironic?
Wow. Don't you think? There's barely a sliver. We were just there's one sliver that you can see through. It's fully finished in there, you guys. It's like a super nice, like bougie break room.
Yeah.
There's like little leather couches and,
They actually did something nice.
or not like couches, but like not an ottoman. What's the word I'm looking for? A chair.
A chair. That's a tough word.
Picture it for me. I can't see.
Chair. What you can't. And I alluded to this in the earlier video, but this is where the graveyard used to be.
Yeah.
They built, I don't know whatever this
Probably
is.
stores more than Fantasmic.
There were tombstones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to be made there.
Historical figures were mentioned in the tombstone.
Bro, where are the bodies?
Yo.
Is this built over the bodies?
Oh my God, it's gonna be a poltergeist
Oh my God.
situation. So
Yes, I'm
there you
right
go.
here,
That is
Just like in the old days.
Mike Finks' new cabin, and I've heard Ian's. Was it? I think it was on Mice Chat.
They were saying it's all furnished
It's
inside.
furnished inside.
Which sounds like they want to do upcharge, stay over the night
go
type
in
of
there?
things.
Shut up. They wouldn't do that, really?
Are you kidding? They would upcharge the air if they
That's
could.
small. That's really small.
But that's a thing. I want to live on the island for the night. What do you see, Ian?
Last week, or earlier this week, you did your midweek report from the structure,
Yeah.
and you could see them like moving dirt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's throwing the dirt behind the concrete wall and put trees up there to help block that.
That's
view.
literally right on the other side of that bridge
And
right there.
They have
Yeah.
trucks up there right now because they'll fill that with trees.
Yeah.
That'll help seal up the view from
This
the train.
right there, right behind that. You
Yeah.
can see the dirt back there. That's the dirt we saw them moving on Wednesday. Sarah's asked Ian, what are those logs there for? And he said, well, they're logs, but it's a support
They're Lincoln logs.
for the train. But they made it themed like it was like a Lincoln log type deal. Oh my gosh, look, is that? No, that's not it, is it? No, it's on the other side.
There'll be a waterfall over here.
There'll be, yeah, but I was thinking that there's definitely, he's going back there, but
Yeah,
you
but
can't get a boat back
No,
there. I wonder what it is. I mean, it's just going to be a waterfall, I guess, but I wonder if they're going to put anything else
just a
back there.
waterfall, just a beautiful waterfall pouring behind the train and under into the river.
On just the train going around just the trail?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Fantasmic Storage, as soon as we start turning right around the island a little bit is where the entrance will be, which we still can't see and never will see until we get on the Mark Twain, as mentioned previously. But this is a fantastic view of this section where there will be water effects all over the place.
It was just more trees. And
This was just trees. It was
It was around the spot where the train would pass the chief on
the chief on the horse. Yeah, exactly.
roundabout back there.
Is the chief on the horse gone?
At the moment, they could reinstall that.
They could put him somewhere else.
He's not.
He's not there now.
Or the train was already going.
Well, that's
Remember, all of this was leveled to dirt before. Like they leveled this whole thing.
well. This part where we are was
Well, yeah, the
here,
island, but, like,
but the
all-
island went further.
yeah.
They shortened the island by a bit. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting just the top of your head.
Wow.
Yeah. So the track did go further.
So when all this was emptied out, they brought this island in.
Yes. Well, they chopped off the tip.
Chopped off the back end of the island.
Yeah. They chopped off the tip. They tore down Mike Finks' cabin and then built it up again.
Really?
Yes. That actually, the Mike Finks cabin that we're looking at today is a brand new
That's
construction.
not OG. It's just the OG
Nope.
materials.
Nope. Matter of fact, the OG cabin wasn't a cabin at all. It was
It was really just a facade.
a fake facade.
Because it wasn't furnished inside, because originally it was the burning cabin, right?
Yeah.
It would be on fire as boats.
Oh my God! What?
Oh shoot, there's a tree in the air.
Oh, look at that.
They're gonna lift that.
Is that a bird or a plane or a super tree?
They'll lift that around over.
Do you think that there's a board with the word tree and an arrow on it
Yes.
where they're going to put that?
Yes. Yes. And Victor messed it up already, so we can't trust him on that.
It's that, where's that? Where do you think that's heading?
Either onto that ridge in the back where I was telling you about where you saw the movie
Yeah.
on Wednesday, or
Back by Hungry Bear.
yeah, or somewhere here in the front towards you.
Okay, can I ground?
Here comes the tree. Guys, we're watching the Planet Tree. Star Wars is happening right here. Well, this isn't really Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ian, don't correct me, please.
He's pursing his
I'm
lips.
just saying,
He's
it's
by, yeah.
when every single channel is like, oh look at this Star Wars construction update. Like has nothing to do with
Nothing to do with Star Wars.
Oh, Ian.
It may be because of it, but this isn't
Just because he's wearing
It's happening.
Just because he's wearing a construction
Star
hat.
Wars did this.
It's also Star Wars.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
itself is
sorry.
not Star Wars.
Well, it's coming back up. It's coming back up. It's not ready. It's not ready.
No,
Okay,
it's
it's going down. It's like Guardians
can't-
of the Galaxy.
There it is. I am tree. That guy, he just moved a little more dirt. Davy Crockett Canoes returning soon. There's the path we've been watching them build. Those are the knotholes that we've been looking through right there.
So crazy. We're finally on the other side.
Now we're on the other side, yeah, and there's the little bridge and the pathway. Yeah, and now we can't feed the ducks anymore.
Well, not while you're eating, but
Right.
you still can. You just won't be able to sit at a table while you're doing it.
And then there's the path that's going to keep going down that way, and then turn left. There's that dirt we were talking about.
Yep. And that's where they'll put more trees to hide the view of Backstage from there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd go across the train, you'd be able to turn around and you'd see Backstage.
It's just wild how the different perspectives that we've been getting now, because with the opening of Tom Sawyers Island, it's a whole new ball game,
Yeah.
really. I mean, on the one hand, it's not going to be lasting because that stuff's going to be done soon, and we don't have anything else to look at. But I mean,
But then it'll be done. We'll be able to enjoy it.
I don't want to hear your logic, Ian.
Right. How do I be sad that we'll be done looking at train construction because we'll be able to ride the train?
No, but then we won't have any more show to do, Ian.
You mean we'll be able to just end the day normally and you'll be able to go open that more? What a tragedy. What a tragedy.
Ian's not on board. Ian, you don't want to see Star Wars Land go on forever? The building of Star Wars Land?
I do, but if something's
We're
getting...
talking about the death of a show.
But if something's getting near done, then that's something to be excited about.
Well, Fresh Baked, we are at the top of the Mickey and Friends parking structure. We're climbing the steps as we speak for what is going to be our last episode of Star Wars Land because it's done. And
Just fast forward 2 years.
this is what it's going to look like every week for the next 104 weeks.
And then overnight it'll be done.
And then there'll be a mountain and it'll be done. All right, well, Ian, what do you see? They finished the top of the collider, it looks like.
Oh, nice, yeah.
That was not concrete before.
Oh, you see all the form stuff.
Yeah. It looks like ready for the next phase, whatever that is.
Wherever that is. Wherever that opening is, it opens into the big building.
Any new guesses?
I think this far end of the large building is the loading portion of it.
Yeah.
But the super collider itself is, as I read, a clever part of the queue.
That's all anybody's saying is clever part of the queue, huh?
Yeah.
Is this the not clever part of the queue?
Well, I'm sure it's really cool.
Less than clever?
The person who's saying Aussie, because
Not as clever?
it'll still be cool, I'm sure.
Clev?
I think there's between walking through a cool queue and something like, say, the stretching room, right? Which is a clever use of what is queue and pre-show.
You heard it here, Fresh Baked. Ian says this is a stretching room, just like at the Haunted Mansion.
Sure, whatever.
That's the future direction of Star Wars Land is us getting punch drunk for being me getting punch drunk for being at the park for 6
They're
or 8
making
hours.
outlandish claims and then forum side and big, no, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Stop watching them.
No, I'm just having fun with it. We don't know what this stuff is, man. Are you kidding me? All right, what else we got? The building's huge.
Yes.
Is it me or did they build another?
Another wart?
Yeah, another ward.
Yeah, shorter, wider one?
Yeah, a short, wide one.
I think that might have been there for a couple weeks. We just haven't noticed.
We haven't noticed it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right. It also looks to me like they are building a new pool.
Oh, right down here.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
That's definitely a pool, right?
Well, I mean, in our sense of the word.
Yeah. Which again,
Which just means any concrete hole in the ground.
Hey, they put water in the pool that one time. Remember that?
There was a hose pouring into it.
This is a fast-moving show so far, or this segment of the Star Wars Land update. But we're going to move on back here to the Millennium Falcon section that you can barely see. I don't see. Did they just decide not to build it anymore? Is that what's happening?
They've been doing steelwork, which you can't really catch from this angle. They've been working on the steel structure.
Like, how much more steel can you put in there? Honestly.
Well, you have to build around that whole building.
No, I mean just in general, like all this.
Oh.
Like they've been putting steel up for forever.
It's only been a couple months.
Oh my goodness, it just feels like forever. Imagine, Ian,
Yeah?
that was a Death Star.
You mean like the time they projected on Spaceship Earth?
No, I mean to say, if it takes us this long to build Battle Escape, and we're still just at the skeleton of the building, how long would it have taken to build a Death Star?
I've been reading books. I think the first one, I want to say, was about 15-ish years, but in canon it's because there was tons of development delays and stuff.
No, that seems not long enough.
Whereas the second Death Star ended up getting to its state in almost 3 or 4 years.
According to Thrawn, if I'm understanding Thrawn correctly, they were building them simultaneously.
Was that what it was?
Because he says the materials were being sent to one destination. That's what they thought at first. Everything was going to one destination. But then Thrawn said, there's also a second destination that it's going to.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that,
Concurrently.
Yeah.
So I think because it makes sense when that's a government thing. Why build one thing when you can build two?
For twice the price.
Right. Yeah. Contact. Right.
What?
That's the line from Contact.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, or is that an actual government? Government?
It might be both. It might be both. Why buy one and buy two for twice the price? It might be both.
Anyway, oh my God, I love this show so much. I love it.
That said, Thrawn's great. Read it or audiobook it. It's really good.
I did read it. I didn't understand the ending. I just remembered the end.
Yes.
So this right there, now that we have some perspective, where I'm going into is the kind of the tunnel.
Oh yeah, the Frontierland Entrance.
Right, and then to the right of that, if we pan just slightly to the right, through those trees is where the turret would have been. Right? And all that Fantasmic Storage. It ran alongside.
Storage directly straight ahead. Because of the angle, I think the turret's a little more aligned with the slight right-hand side.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, right around where Thunder starts coming in. Yeah, right there, right?
More onto slightly to the right of Thunder.
He's pointing to the far right edge of Thunder.
Yeah, more towards the right edge of Thunder was where the turret was.
I think you're right. You can almost see it through the tree line now, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. Is that it right there?
Possibly. We could just be looking at a brown patch in the tree.
Could be. But anyway, it's kind of neat now that I'm gonna hopefully I have some footage where footage of the turret as it's being built in Fantasmic Storage that lines up, because we shoot from the same spot almost every week. So
more or less.
Hopefully we're going to superimpose some old footage with some new footage and then show you what that looks like now from Tom Sawyers Island. And that is the official head explode portion of this show, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Because once you put all that together, you're just like, wow, that's really neat. Respect, Ian objected to the use of my word neat.
Almost not strong enough, really.
No, I underplayed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then again,
that's neat.
I'm a nerd, so I get to say things like neat. Hey, let's go over here. Hey, Ian, remember that one time? We were in Toontown, riding Gadget's Go Coaster, and we couldn't see anything?
I mean, I saw a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was a fond memory.
It was a very fond memory. Thank you for reflecting on that moment with me.
Only, 6-7 hours ago?
About 7 hours ago, yeah. 6 hours ago. What do you think of this new Millennium Falcon state?
It's getting bigger.
Well said, sir. Well said. There's more steel. More steel. Look at all that steel. Like, honestly, how much do you need?
Well, it's funny because from this angle, the two buildings almost blend into one.
That's what I keep saying. It looks like they're going to join.
They will get close, and there'll be rockwork connecting the two.
Yeah.
But the actual buildings themselves are technically separate.
The backdrop will certainly, the eventual backdrop will join.
Will make it conjoined, but the actual building structures themselves are separate.
It's like a tale of multiple stories here. You've got this story over here, the Millennium Falcon story, and then you've got this story here, and then you've got that story, whatever that thing is.
And possibly further story behind the battle escape ride and what will be the marketplace area that we will never be able to see until we walk in.
The what? The area behind it?
The actual marketplace spaceport.
You think it's going to be behind this building or on the other side of it? You mean?
Behind, I mean on the other side from us.
Yeah, okay, right. I was going to say behind it is going to be backstage.
I mean from our perspective behind us.
Yeah, okay.
And we can't see any of that, so who knows?
That's, by the way, I got an email today from Able to Art, who has a YouTube channel. Go check it out. He's an artist and he does videos on YouTube with his art.
And he did a couple speed drawings of what
it's really cool stuff.
Of what a park map could look like when this opens and when Toy Story and Star Wars open in Hollywood Studios in Florida.
I asked him, Ian, because I said, that was really cool, I was impressed. Can you do that from here? And he said he's going to try. So he said he's almost done.
All right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. By the time that you see this, it will not be done. I'm sorry, Fresh Baked. We'll have to wait till next week, maybe. But what I've asked him to do, because what my problem when I look at this now, and this is going to be our problem going forward, is that we can't visualize what's happening
on the other side.
What's happening? I don't know. There are shops and restaurants and stuff like that all being constructed.
No,
could be now.
We won't be able to see any of that.
We won't be able to see any of it. But I want to know where it is in relation to what I'm seeing. I want to know what's on the other side of this building, and we can't see that. Hopefully he can use that left part of his brain to figure that out for us, because that's what you need. You need some kind of artist's ability to change perspective, because I have got a single track mind when it comes to stuff like this. I can only see what's in front of me.
And even then, the perspective isn't great.
Right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for this week from the Mickey and Friends parking structure in this week's episode of the Star Wars Land Update. Pretty soon, we're hitting this kind of, remember we were at a point like this at the beginning when it was just dirt and nothing was happening?
Yeah.
And we had to come back every week and talk about the dirt. Now we're talking about
We're in a
the
similar
steel.
kind of diminishing returns.
Right. There's not. There's a lot going on, but we can't really make any sort of.
And there may be a point where facade work starts to pick up.
That's what I'm saying. That's the next part.
So right now we're in another kind of diminishing returns section.
Yeah.
Where,
It's just steel.
and what's happening, while important, isn't visibly noticeable.
No, you can't see it. You can't see what's happening. It's like trying to watch a hockey game. Okay, you see a bunch of guys skating around doing stuff, and it all seems impressive, but I can't tell one guy from
the only
another.
thing you can tell is when people start fighting. They're like, oh, hey, cool, something cool's
or
happening.
somebody scores a goal, and you're like, oh, I think the puck went in.
Yeah.
And then the puck, right? Yeah. I think the puck went in the net, and then everybody gets excited, and then they start running around again. That's
And
kind
they punch each other.
And then they punch each other for a little bit. And hockey fans now hate us. But
Look, I'm just saying, the best part of NHL on the Sega Genesis was getting into a fight. I don't know,
sure.
we didn't know how to do it, but
For
it did.
sure.
They needed to spam buttons.
Yep. And that's really what it is. A hockey fight is just a button masher.
God, we didn't lose too many people for that.
But yeah, so we're just kind of waiting. We're in a holding pattern for them to start working on the actual, cosmetic portions of this building. And that's why I'm hoping, I guess they're still going to be putting steel up here, but I mean, the steel's almost done. It's got to be done back there. Can't you start putting a wall up or something for us to talk about?
Can't you block our view more?
Can't you block our view a little bit more? Thank you, Star Wars Land.
We're joking about that last bit, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, don't put scrims up, just keep working.
I'd actually prefer it if we could get, can you walk us around down there? Like that nice lady at Adventureland?
Maybe just walk us through Imagineering Bank. Here you go.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
all our plans.
That would be awesome. That's probably how they defeated the Death Star. That's what happened. There was somebody doing a knothole gang of the Death Star, and we got invited in, and he saw the hole that you could blow it up.
What about Game on Urso?
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
Shoot.
See, that joke worked better before Rogue One came out.
Stupid Rogue One. Let's go home.
She's come to.
By the way, that's my girlfriend, Fresh Break. That's my girlfriend. We're over here working hard, doing Star Wars live reports.
This is what a day Disneyland has devolved her into.